Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome life. All right, we've been talking a lot about this because it's just so prevalent, and that is the symptoms of the fourth and fifth dimension. I want you to remember something. The earth has split. So let's not even try and comprehend that, because we always think of things as material, and that's not what's happening. It's a frequency. The signs and symptoms of you going into the fourth dimension, and I want you to remember this, are everything is now opening up. When you go into the fourth dimension, you are no longer in a physical world that is very easy to figure out. You know, here's a pen, the one that reappeared, by the way. Here's a cell phone, and we know exactly how this works. We're going into dimensions where all things are possible. The reality shifts are happening because in the fourth and fifth dimension, that's just normal. It's on a higher frequency, and if you're in that frequency and you're resonating with it, you have access to all those abilities, all of those powers that a third dimensional person doesn't even believe in, right? They're not even going there. They think it's hogwash. So they're going to stay in the reality of theirs that has, you know, people killing each other and all this stuff. Now, just remember, because the dimensions are splitting doesn't mean we're not experiencing the third dimensional issues, the mass murders and the crazy stuff that's going on out there. We're going to experience that, but our world is improving. Ours, you're going to see less and less of that. You're going to see more and more good. That's going to come to the forefront, where they're seeing nothing but the negative. They're seeing all the bad in the world. They're watching the news. They're listening to the White House tweets and all this craziness. And their world is that dark world. They're watching the conspiracy theory and all stuff because they're addicted to the dark, lower frequencies. It's okay. They'll find their way out of there eventually, but that's not you. You're splitting off. So what happens is when you go in over here, you now, manifesting is happening quickly, because the higher and more open you are in the frequency, the more access you have to all that is. And the more you're open to that, the more it happens for you, even if we can't explain it as third dimensional human beings. You're okay with that, and you're just accepting it, even if you can't explain it. All you know is you're tapping into the higher dimensions. What does that mean? When you tap into everything, that means that everything becomes exposed. That's why the shadow figures, you'll see stuff going on. Okay, here's the other thing too. It's like a psychic person who sees things because they are tapping into that dimension, the unseen dimension on the material third dimensional world. They tap into it. You're starting to tap into it now, because you're actually going into those realms that some people were born with, that we call freaks, right? They're not freaks. They're just open. They have an opening. So now you have that opening, so get ready, because you may see things. Not scary stuff, don't worry about it. There's nothing scary. I mean, I don't want my grandma walking in the room right now, because I'd probably fall off my chair. Okay, Grandma, you can walk in the room. I'm fine with that. You know, I might, hyperventilate or something, because we're still human beings that go, oh, is this good or bad or whatever, right? Is that really Grandma? But so don't be afraid, because nothing can hurt you. You have free will. You call in your protection, but you don't really have to do that anymore. If you are on a higher frequency, you know you're okay, and you feel that. Have you ever noticed we call in our protectors when we have fear? When you feel fear, call them in, because if you have fear, you have an opening to the darker side. It's going to mess with you. So don't worry about that. It's not happening. So what's happening, these fields are going down. You're now going into this world that's unknown, out-of-body kind of experience, right? Where you have all answers. You have all ideas. You have all creativity. You are accessing all of this stuff. Inventions, abundance, health, all answers to everything you need that you desire. You have to put that request out, make a decision. Not, I'll light candles and all this stuff. You can do that, that's cool, but you don't need it. So So you open up, and what happens is, I'm experiencing this, it's a little freaky, but I realized this isn't something that's just happening once in a while. I'm seeing things. I'm seeing shadows and movement in the room, and it's not the lights of the cars outside or the shadows of something there. I actually am realizing them. I am seeing, so I'm starting to see other dimensions. Those dimensions exist here with us. It's not some other place. That's the third dimension brain thinking. It's all here, happening at the same time. They don't even know we're here. So herein lies the challenge. Our energy affects them. We have realities going on right here that are thousands of years in the future, happening right here. That energy is affecting us. Quantum physics, the future events can affect the past. We are the past. There are future events right now, depending on the decisions made in those dimensions, can affect us and what happens here. What we do can affect whoever is functioning in some archaic cave somewhere. We can affect them through our energy because everything's happening at the same time. Did you see my video on enlightenment? I experienced this, and I was told all things are happening at the same time. So this, and we are one energy doing it. We are one energy happening at the same time. That's how I was told. Happening, not simultaneously. We're all one energy happening. So my thoughts and feelings are affecting every probability at any linear time in our little brains that we have to place it in at the same time. That's why your thoughts and beliefs and your frequency is affecting everything. It's all connected. Even though you have individual expression, it's all happening at the same time. All right? So, all of these frequencies are all connected. What does that mean? Well, you have to be very careful because all these things you're seeing, it's all opening up to everything. You have access to everything, and all of these other dimensions here that are happening are benefiting from you, and you can shift in any one of these realities. Those the reality shifts I'm experiencing right now, so blatant. They're not like, did that just happen? It's like, okay, I know that was a shift. And you can tell somebody and they might go, yeah, you just forgot that you put that there or whatever. No, I know. And if there's a chance that I put something someplace and came back and it was there or whatever, I know when it's reality shift, and maybe I walked around with my glasses on my head and I was looking for them, kind of thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about stuff that's so out there that you couldn't possibly have done it yourself, and it shifted. That means you just went into a different reality, probably because you're raising your frequency. So it's taking you into different probabilities. And that probability where my pen is a higher one, closer to what I'm desiring and I'm achieving. By the way, the more you give, the more positive energy you put out there, the more you're going to keep shifting realities up and up and up and up, because your frequency is raising, because you're putting so much positive energy out there that you are receiving it, because you're a part of that positive energy. So when you're raising it, you're in that positive energy, and that's where all manifesting takes place. To the person, if you're watching this, who sent me an email and said, I'm manifesting that you send me $100 certified check, and then gives me the address. Where's that? That's total ego. I'm manifesting you, free will, to send me money. I manifested it. No, you didn't, because your ego has no power. And when you try and control the material world, you're going to be greatly disappointed. When you start giving that $100 to somebody else without telling them who you are, then you will see things happen, and you'll never have to ask for money again, because that money's going to flow to you. And that feeling you're going to get of helping somebody else and not needing credit, because that's the ego. I did it. Have you ever done this? I do this all the time, right? I got to catch myself. Tipping someone, you got to make sure. Did you see the Seinfeld episode? You got to make sure they see you tipping. I don't necessarily do it for the ego, but it is the ego that needs the credit, and it's not the credit. I want them to know that I'm rewarding them. I want them to feel good. It's like, thank you. But that's still the ego. It's still the ego. If I really was completely disconnected from the ego, I would put that money in it and it wouldn't matter. I could put $100 in a tip jar at Starbucks and it wouldn't matter if they saw me do it or not. That's when you know you've completely disconnected from the ego. And I do now, I actually practice it. I say, okay, I'm going to put the tip in the jar, because I tip well, and I'm going to disregard whether they saw me or not. In fact, sometimes I'll do it when they're not there as practice for me to remind myself that that ego does not need that. Me, I don't need it. The ego needs it, but I want to disconnect from that. So it does take practice, because we automatically have a tendency to go that. So that's why we're still in, we're still experiencing the third dimension and fourth, because we're still in a dense body. So your DNA is changing right now. The DNA is adjusting to the fourth dimension. So you'll experience the third dimension less and less. That's why you're shifting into different realities, because the more your body shifts, a lot of you have experienced, I call it the energy surges. When you feel like electricity is going through your body, and you'll have like several nights in a row where it happens. Like, what is that? That's energy surges. That is electrical impulses going through your body, changing your DNA, raising your frequency. And by the way, you don't wake up going, oh, I feel, I'm like, I wake up and I'm like, nothing changed. Yeah, you're physically changing. That's what's happening, because your physical body cannot function in the fourth dimension the way it is now. It works in the third dimension, but it's very dense. So all that DNA that we don't use is starting to get activated, which means you become a lighter being, literally a lighter being. There's actually light inside your body. And they watch this and document that DNA fires off light. Your body's full of light. So it becomes less dense, and that DNA is being used, and that DNA and all these abilities allow you to connect in a more psychic level. So you're using the brain and everything else on a higher level. So we have abilities that we didn't have before. And that's real. So don't be afraid of that. We're so used to, oh, that's freaky person. No, it's you. If you're lucky, and if you're experiencing that, your diet may change, your body might be off whack. Sometimes you may actually get sick and you're like, what is this? Sometimes it appears to be negative, like the shadow people and stuff, and it's not. It's just you being exposed to everything now. It's just all these adjustments, and you're just experiencing all these things. So welcome it all. And even sometimes some changes, deaths, losses of things, is your reality shifting over here, because that world is not working for you anymore and you need to be out of it. So it's your perception that it's bad that makes it negative. Just know something big just shifted for you, and it's taking you to a higher frequency. Welcome it and say, okay, ow, didn't feel good. I got to roll with this. And you just hang in there and you meditate, and meditation opens up to that open higher frequency. Shut down the thinking, sit with it. Talk to the hand, man, blah, 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 blah. And sit there and just, there's nothing. There is nothing. It's weird, there's just really nothing. I sit here and I think, what do you really need? We don't even need to eat. Did you know that? I was told I don't need to eat by one of the higher sources. I haven't given that up yet, but I think I'm going to try it. It's tough because I really like cheese. I like cheese. And what else? I love fish. So start listening to that little voice. Quit trying to analyze things if it's going to drive you crazy, because you're not going to have the answers, and neither do I. Just know it's happening. And that's why you're going to experience a lot of stuff. And you're going to still see what's going on in the third dimension, but it's not going to be a focus anymore, and you're not going to feel like it's a negative world anymore. You're going to see it in a much lighter viewpoint, and that is true. It really is happening. That's your reality, because you're going to the higher frequency. And somebody else, man, you guys get on my channel and tell me the world's a rotten place. It is for you. I'm sorry, you're in the third dimension. Come join us. It's beautiful here. It's still challenging. We got work to do. That's what we came here for. But you're up for the challenge, and I know it. And boy, get ready. Stuff is going to blow your mind. So I want to share something else with you, because I've had visions through the years that have come to pass. Some of them are very accurate. A lot of them are about worldly events, and I had a lot of dreams about floods for years. And we did go through some periods of time with cities flooding. That has been happening up until fairly recently, even Texas. I saw a lot of flooding. Those dreams have stopped. I haven't had a flood dream in a while now, so that's good. I had some dreams about earthquakes and some of those. Those have stopped. Basically, I haven't seen anything really bad. I have had dreams where I live in a world where it's mostly water. In fact, it's, a Venice kind of situation. Another probability in the future, but we're still here, and we just use waterways mostly, but there's still land. The world's changing. The planet's going to change. Nothing's static, right? So I want to share this with you because I want you to just be open. Don't judge anything good or bad. Know that if you're experiencing these things, you're going in the fourth dimension, and that now all the veils are down. You're experiencing this stuff. I've done a lot of videos on this, but I'm trying to give you other viewpoints so that you can sort of really connect to what this is, and that you're going to be basically almost psychic. Your intuition's going to be very acute. Your intelligence will go up because you're not thinking with your brain anymore. You're connecting to the collective brain, which is everything. It's where Einstein and Tesla got their stuff. So start using it and open up those belief systems and say, I don't know anymore. I don't have the answers. All things are possible. You're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. You are loved unconditionally, beyond your imagination. Beyond your imagination. Never be afraid. No reason to fear anything anymore. Nothing can ever harm you. Nothing. You will exist. You always have. You always will. You are perfect. You are light. Send your light and your love and your peace out to this planet and beyond, and watch what comes back. It's going to be beautiful. It already is. Namaste.